Hello guys, I am Sanjay Kadam and you are watching my channel Scholars Point. Today we will study about the types of acquired immunity. As we learned in previous video, what is meant by acquired immunity? Acquired immunity means when the infection occurs, thereafter our immune system forming either antibodies or direct killing the pathogens, and that is why it is called adaptive or specific immunity. When human body infected with bacteria, specific bacteria, then immunity develops against only that type of bacteria, not against other bacteria or viruses. Okay, now we will focus over the types of acquired immunity. First type is active acquired immunity and second type is passive acquired immunity. In active acquired immunity, here immune system activated due to entry of live pathogens or proteins, toxins, or vaccine, means it contains killed or attenuated pathogens, and in response our own antibodies are formed. Whenever natural or artificial infection occurs, then our immunity systems forming our own antibodies, that is called active acquired immunity. And active immunity is somewhat slower as compared to passive. Why? When the pathogen enters in our body, then it takes some time to develop our own antibodies, and that is called lag period. And that period means after infection it takes some time, and that time may be few days or few weeks, 1, 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, that is why it is slower. But in passive immunity, antibodies are obtained from other animals or other human beings, and that is why ready-made antibodies, because of the use of ready-made antibodies, that period, lag period, is absent. Hence it is very rapid as compared to active. Okay, now active acquired immunity have two types: natural active and artificial active. In natural active immunity, when natural infection occurs, immune system develops our own antibodies. Here the condition is that when natural infection occurs, means when any animal or human being naturally infected either by bacteria or viruses, then in our body there are some plasma cells, means lymphocyte, B lymphocytes, which develops our own antibodies against antigens present over the pathogens. Okay, here the figure, the round figure is representing human body, and this one is bacteria. When bacteria entering inside the human body, that is called natural infection. And once the bacteria entered, then our immune system identifies and then forming specific antibodies against specific bacteria or pathogen. Then plasma cells form lot of antibodies in millions and billions, and in this way this antibody locks with antigens present over the bodies of bacteria, and in this way pathogens inactivated, neutralized and destroyed. This is our natural active immunity. When natural infection occurs, immune system develops our own antibodies. But here the condition is of natural infection, and here in second condition artificial infection occurs. Artificial active, second type. When artificial infection occurs, immune system develops our own antibodies, but condition is that infection is artificial. Means what? Suppose this is a vaccine, active vaccine injection. It contains killed or paralyzed, weakened pathogens, and when these killed or attenuated pathogens are entered in the body through vaccine, then body develops same. Our plasma cells develop the same type of antibodies according to the antigens present over the body of surface of pathogens. Okay, in this way, here our body producing our own antibodies in artificial infection, and in natural infection also our body producing our own antibodies. That is why called active. But infection is natural, infection is artificial. Okay, it is not the natural infection. And its main purpose, means active vaccination purpose, is to prevent, to protect ourselves from future attack. Okay, for that active vaccination is needed. Now we shift towards the passive acquired immunity. Passive represents of others, not our own. Active means our own antibodies are formed, and in passive acquired immunity, antibodies obtained from others, received from other animals or humans. Okay, here immune system remains passive, means inactive, and ready-made antibodies of others are received or obtained so as to protect our body. Passive immunity develops rapidly, and here active immunity develops slowly. That is the main difference. Passive acquired immunity have two types: natural passive and artificial passive. In natural passive acquired immunity, as it occurs naturally, here two examples are given. Fetus receives mother's antibodies through placenta, and infant means newborn baby receives mother's antibodies through colostrum or first milk. By diagram or figure representation, we understand what is the actual natural passive immunity. Suppose it is mother and here is the fetus or fetus. Okay, a pregnant mother having developing fetus in her uterus, and from mothers, in between mother and fetus, there is an organic connection that is called placenta. It is called placenta, through which essential nutrients and gases, oxygen and antibodies are passed from mother to fetus. Okay, this is the placenta. It is a diagrammatic representation to understand natural passive immunity. Okay, and here mother develops some antibodies. These are the mother's antibodies called maternal antibodies, passed to fetus, developing fetus in this way. Now these are the antibodies of mothers, maternal antibodies, not of fetus, because fetus not developing its own antibodies. Why? Fetus lacking skeleton, bones are absent in the developing fetus, and that is why inside the bone marrow lymphocytes are formed, B and T lymphocytes, and that is why fetus lacking its own immune mechanism. Okay, then antibodies pass from mother to fetus through placenta. This is the best example of natural passive immunity. Here fetus receiving mother's antibodies, not of its own. Okay, this is the first case. Fetus receives mother's antibodies through placenta. Now second example, infant, newborn baby receives maternal antibodies through colostrum, means first milk of lactating mother. Now it is also explained by representation. Suppose it is a mother's body and this one is newborn infant. Now infants taking nourishment through breastfeeding, mother's milk, and in this way mother's body have its own antibodies. Now there is no placenta, organic connection between mother and fetus, because now the fetus delivered out and it is now free, independent, and now called infant or newborn baby. Newborn baby receiving mother's antibodies after detachment, separation through colostrum or first milk. After parturition or delivery, first few days, mother produces somewhat yellowish, dense, thick milk that is called colostrum, which is the rich source of antibodies and nutrients to infant. And through colostrum, infant receiving mother's milk, and these antibodies get entered into the digestive tract and throughout, and in this way from digestive tract they absorb into the body, and mother's antibodies now present in the infant's body. In this way, these are the antibodies of mother and not of infant. That is why it is called natural passive immunity. Okay. Now about second type, artificial passive acquired immunity. Here antibodies collected from other animals, either from horse or other human beings, and the collected antibodies, ready-made antibodies of other animals are introduced into the human body. That is why it is called artificial, means ready-made antibodies of other animals introduced into the human body so as to develop immunity or resistance against particular infection. Suppose a dog bites to a man, then there is a risk of rabies, and in that condition we use passive vaccination, means artificial passive immunity developed in human beings, which is bitten by dog. Okay, now suppose there is a horse. In the body of horse, first we inject some pathogen. Suppose a rabies virus. Okay, it is, suppose this is the virus, antigen. Virus have antigens, and when viruses means weakened or killed, rabies antigens or pathogens when injected into the body of horse, then horse develops its own antibodies. Now horse develops its own antibodies in millions and billions. Then these are the antibodies of horse against a rabies antigen. Okay, then we separate the horse antibodies from the serum, and then these antibodies are used to make passive vaccination. And now this is the human body into which these antibodies injected with the help of passive vaccination, and in this way the separated antibodies of horse, means other animal, now injected inside the human which suffer from dog bite, and in this way these are the antibodies of horse. In this way now human body, after receiving horse antibodies, now able to fight quickly, rapidly against the virus, rabies virus coming through the saliva of dog. In this way, here a passive vaccination carried out, but the process is artificial, because this is the artificial and this one is also artificial. Here artificial active vaccination to horse so as to develop antibodies of horse. These are collected, separated from the serum of horse and then used to make passive vaccine. And when we introduce these horse antibodies inside the human body, then human body is now able to to fight against the rabies disease. Okay, in this way the artificial passive vaccination occurs, and it is a type of passive but artificial passive acquired immunity. If you like this video, then please share to your friends, and for more updates subscribe my channel.